Hi, this is DL with Tranquil Living. Welcome to today's Inside Out yoga class. So you will need any kind of blocks, bolsters, cushions, blankets that you have lying around the house. Just go ahead and gather those. We're going to be doing some restorative towards the end of class. You can go ahead and pause, grab those things, and then meet me back on the mat. So let's sit in a comfortable position, whatever that is for you. If you need to be in a chair, that's perfectly acceptable. At all times, this class is about your comfort and the ease in your body. Oh yeah, and the other thing that you're going to need, I forgot to say, you're going to need a mirror because we're going to do some mirror meditation in the middle of class. And if you don't have a full-length mirror, it doesn't matter. You can even use a little handheld or cosmetic mirror if that's all you've got. So you'll want to grab a mirror as well. So let's begin by kind of tuning in and centering ourselves and also asking for help. And I don't know about you, but in my life, asking for help has been something I have not been so good at. So let's rub the hands together, activating all the nerve endings in the palms of the hands and fingers. Bring the hands to the chest. Take a nice deep breath in. And release the breath. Okay, so if this was a live class, you would have known that I had to check the microphone. And also that I noticed some hip discomfort as I was sitting. And while I probably would have pushed through, but that's totally not the point of this class and any yoga class. So I got a block and now I'm sitting on the block, elevating my hips. And that makes me a lot more comfortable. And you know, we can be really foolish. Not just if we're teaching a class, but taking a class as well. We can neglect the signals that we get from our body. I would really like to encourage each of you and myself to pay close attention to those signals and make changes whenever necessary. Let's go back to our centering. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra, breathing in and out. We call upon our ancestors, the mother's line and the father's line, those who have loved us for always. We ask for your help and support through our practice and in life. We call upon the teachers of our present day, those who inform us, challenge us, help us to see clearly. And we call upon those wisdom teachers of the past, whoever that may be for you. Call them in now and ask for their help and support. Breathe deeply. I want to read a quote from Whispers from Eternity, which is a book by Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, who brought Kriya Yoga to the West. This book he considered to be inspired by God, and one of the three books he considered to be most important in his life. There is just a very short quote that I'm going to read to you today. The fundamental cure for all human ills is everywhere one and the same: to raise one's consciousness. The fundamental cure for all human ills, is everywhere one and the same, to raise one's consciousness. So that's what we're here to do today, and why some of the practices may be quite unfamiliar to you if you practice yoga. My background is quite eclectic, and that will show up today, I suspect. All right, so we'll begin with some intuitive movement to warm up. And now, actually I'm going to back up because I want to talk about consciousness. What does that mean? Consciousness. You know, it's our awareness, consciousness, awareness. As we raise our awareness, we have a greater likelihood of being able to overcome our suffering. In other words, when we are suffering, our belief in what's happening to us and that it's happening to a personal us is like this thing that's on our face that we can't even see because it's so close. Awareness, consciousness is pulling, and thank you Gary Van Warmerdam for this wonderful gesture. Raising our awareness is moving, getting some distance between that personal self and the truth of who you are, so that you can see it clearly and you can also recognize the truth of yourself in relationship to that thing that appears to be happening to a you. Okay, so now on to the intuitive movement part of class. So I spoke a little bit earlier when I was talking about sitting on my block here about the messages that we get from our body. Now the body is very intelligent and it's communicating with us all the time. Over our lifespan, there are all kinds of reasons why we might stop to listen to it, whether it's trauma related or it's kind of activity related. You know, for example, when I was teaching in elementary school, I didn't always have the opportunity to relieve my bladder when my body was saying, relieve your bladder. So those kinds of things that happen over our lifetime condition us and get us out of touch with our body. So to warm up, I'm just going to invite you to do whatever feels good. And I'll give you some ideas. So now, you know, my hip is a little more comfortable and I'm just going to start to kind of rock side to side and get in touch with my body, connected to my mat here. And you may notice that I have a sheepskin here. The sheepskin kind of provides a separation between earth energies and the cultivation of higher spiritual energies. It's also cushy and more comfortable. So you can be going side to side, you can be making little circles around the pelvis, whatever feels good and right, just let your body lead you. And notice how you're breathing as you move, or if you're breathing at all. And what you might notice is, you know, as you lean in a certain direction, you might feel the next thing wanting to happen. So as I leaned backwards, I noticed that I wanted to feel some length through my lower back. So I'm opening my back body here, rounding. And, you know, I'm also feeling like I want to open up my side body. So I'm not doing anything that you have to follow in particularity. In particular, I don't know if that's right or wrong. But just let the body dictate how you want to move. move and find those places where you want to move into with your awareness. So now my awareness is, even though I'm reaching forward, my body awareness is in two places, or at least two main places, and that's the side body, and it's between my shoulder blades. Now it's more in my elbow. Now it's still in my elbow, but also the space between my shoulder blades. And I'm definitely feeling like I want to stretch out my legs. So I'm going to come onto my back. You can join me, or you can continue to do whatever you like. So this is just an intuitive physical warm-up, because this isn't really an asana class. You know, this kind of class that I am presenting, this inside out yoga, it is, as I've already mentioned, more about, you know, the tools that are at our disposal for helping us to raise our consciousness. They are also a way to become more embodied. And I think it'll be a really good practice for people who maybe have chronic fatigue issues, which I've been having some challenges with that lately, fibromyalgia, arthritis, you know, any of those things that would maybe not make a regular asana practice comfortable for you. So just breathe and continue to listen and respond to your body. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to look like something you've done before. It can take any form. It doesn't have to be a shape. It doesn't have to be, you know, something officially from yoga. And it doesn't have to be still. And it doesn't have to move. It can be rocking, it can be pulsing, it can be massaging. Just want to wake up the body, feel the body, be present in the body. And I'll admit there is some challenge for me in knowing that this is being recorded and being fully in my body. I know that if that, that wasn't there, that my experience would probably be a lot deeper and more centered. And I hope to come to that, through time, through practice. Just through awareness that that's happening. And it's always a good time to take a deep breath, or to notice how you're breathing, to release stress on the exhale. Another 30 seconds or so, just to feel your relationship to the ground, whether you're sitting or standing or lying down, facing up or facing down. And we will transition back to a seated position, whether that's with your legs bent on a chair, however you need to be seated. Okay. So I'd like to work with Kundalini breath of fire. And breath of fire can make people think they have to overexert. And I'd like to start by saying that this breath of fire, should be as easy as your natural breath. If it becomes strained, if it becomes tiring, then you need to stop. And it's just that simple. There is no pushing through. There is no level to achieve or speed to achieve. That comes quite naturally and without any overexertion on your part. So that said, I know not everyone may be familiar with breath of fire, so I'm going to do a little bit of instruction with that. And one way that I have learned to teach this is by kind of having your hands up like their paws, like an animal's paws, a little dog maybe, and just start to pant over your tongue. And as you do, notice how when you pant, with each pant, there's a movement through the area of the core, the belly here. So as you exhale over the tongue, this tightens. And as you release or breathe in, it relaxes. Okay, and it can go slow, just do it gently. Now, to do breath of fire, you're going to close your mouth and put the breath in the nostrils. Same thing, same sensation in the belly. Keep your paws here for the moment because I want them to be super floppy and super relaxed to help remind you relaxed. If your fingers start to get tense, then you know that you are trying too hard. So keep your paws there for the time being, as silly as it may feel or look. Okay, so closing the mouth, breathing in and out through the nose, and feeling that pumping sensation through the belly. Take a rest. See if you can release the hands to your lap and continue with the breath, taking breaks when you need to. Continue, go slowly. Now, there are contraindications to breath of fire. If you are pregnant, you'll want to do long, deep breathing instead. If you have any kind of pressure issues in the body, such as a heart condition or high blood pressure, if you have glaucoma, if you have a hernia, any of those kinds of tension issues, then you will either want to do it super slow and super gentle, or you will want to replace it with long, deep breathing, which is safe for everyone. And, obviously, if there's ever a time when you're not feeling like breath of fire is working for you, then don't do it. You can substitute it with just long, deep breathing, or just tune into your breath and see what's there for you that day. Now, for those of you who are familiar with breath of fire, well, we're going to do quite a bit of it together and at a speed that you're comfortable with. So here we go. Those of you who are just starting out, please take breaks, rest. You don't need to do this whole time straight through. Goes for those of you who are well versed in this as well. So let's begin. I've taken a break. I intend to do one more round. Continue if you desire. This will be my last round. At the end of the round, I will hold the breath and squeeze up on the root lock. And then I will release the breath when I need to. Breathe normally and just notice what sensations you may feel through the body, the emotional body, and the mental body. So I wanted to share my screen with you. And take a look at this. So wisdom is wisdom. In other words, it doesn't really matter which tradition you come from. There is wisdom in every tradition, and very often it is the same. I wanted to point out to you today the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga and the Noble Eightfold Path in Buddhism, so that you can get a sense of how they are similar. Now, they're not exact, but you'll see that there's a lot of similarities. It's those similarities that point to what is most true. So, in the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, we have the yamas and niyamas. The yamas refer to right view, so holding a right view, a right perspective, and the actions that we take in life. The niyamas are our right intentions, so that's kind of what's coming from the inside. Asana is the postures, and that's kind of what we're not doing today. And as you see, it's just one aspect of yoga. Pranayama is breath control is one way to interpret that, and we'll just leave it there for today because it's simple. So pranayama, breath control, and we were just practicing that a moment ago. Pratyahara is going within, and that's very much what this particular class is about, and really the point of all yoga. Dharana is concentration, and if we don't have the concentration, then we can end up, here instead of observing. Dhyana, which is meditation, we'll be moving into next. And samadhi is realization, whether it's those singular moments that we realize the truth of ourselves, or those more impactful insights, and longer periods of time where we are able to be quiet and still and enjoy our presence in our life. Those are the 8 limbs of yoga. Now we'll go on to the Noble Eightfold Path of Buddhism. It starts with right view. And if you notice, that's where the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga start as well, with the yamas. So right view. Right intention. Now here I relate that to the niyamas. It's very parallel. Right speech, right action, right livelihood, and I'm going to stop there. Those 3, right speech, right action, right livelihood, they kind of tie into the 3 first parts of the 8 limbs. Now, right effort, I would relate to both the pranayama and going within. Now, pranayama can also relate to right speech because our breath is our speech. Right effort, it takes a great deal of effort to practice concentration. It takes effort really to practice all the 8 limbs. But the point is that we're drawing parallels between these 2 systems. Right mindfulness, that's meditation to be sure. And then samadhi is shared in both systems. So the point of this really, I just want you to start to think of your own path, whatever that may be, your own religion, if you ascribe to one, your own belief system, whatever it may be, and discover what they might have in common with the 8 limbs of Ashtanga or the Noble Eightfold Path of Buddhism, and with other wisdom paths as well. The truth is the truth. Wisdom is wisdom. And we need to learn how to have respect for everyone's path, and also need to learn to find where we all come together. So, join me again back on the mat. And it's time for our mirror meditation. Now, if you've never done mirror meditation, and there may be lots of reasons why you wouldn't want to, or that you perceive you would be uncomfortable looking at yourself. These can be things such as, well, looking at myself in the mirror is narcissistic. I'm not going to do that. It can be, I don't want to look at myself in the mirror. I'm not happy with myself. All of those things can arise. If you've had or are dealing with a great deal of trauma in your life, I would suggest maybe not looking in the mirror and doing a meditation, a different kind of meditation for yourself now. If you have any kind of body dysmorphia, and when you look in the mirror, you don't see what's there, then mirror meditation might also not be for you. And in which case, just don't use a mirror. Just join me in meditation that I'm going to guide, and use your inner eye to maybe discover something new about yourself. For those of you who have a mirror and feel comfortable trying mirror meditation, please turn to face toward your mirror, or hold your mirror up. Now, I will say, if you're using a little handheld or something small, then what you might want to do is use a block to rest your arms so that you're not getting fatigued. We're going to be here for quite a while, okay? Again, you'll want to be comfortable. So if you need to sit on a chair in front of a mirror, that's fine. Notice that I'm using the block again to lift my hips to be more comfortable. And as we're meditating, feel free to move and adjust your body if it starts to become uncomfortable in whatever position you're in. Fix my hair first. All right, so settle into your position in front of the mirror. And begin first just by taking in the shape of your body in space. You know, what shape, what space does your head occupy? So it's kind of like tracing the outer line of your physical body. Be with your breath. Once you've kind of gotten a sense of yourself in space, if there's any kind of physical adjustment or movement you need to make, feel free to do that. Be aware of how you are connecting to the ground. Feel the surface of the legs or the buttocks in relationship to the surface of the earth. Be aware of your posture without correcting it. You don't need to do anything artificial. Just be aware of your body as it is. Bring your attention to your feet again, to the lower part of your body, and just gaze lightly through the mirror at that root chakra area. Now, the chakras are wheels of energy, places where energy collects, vortices, I guess. And we're just becoming aware of that root chakra right at the base of the spine. You may or may not feel energy there as you gaze with your eyes. Now, if you have a smaller mirror, you might have to tilt your mirror. You may have to hold the mirror further away from your body. And those of you who aren't working with a mirror, just close your eyes and put your attention in that lower region of the pelvis. We're going to move up the center of the spine now, so bringing your attention and your awareness to the area of the sacral chakra, that's the belly area, but it's also, lower back. Right in the curve of the spine. And feel free to put your hands there if it helps, but otherwise just use your eyes and try to sense and feel the energy there. Rising up the center of the body to the solar plexus, right under that notch where the ribs come together and a little lower, several inches above the belly button. And yes, it has a back point as well, so front and back. You're just gazing softly at your body and feeling the energy there. Notice the breath and how, as you gaze softly at your body, the body lifts and falls with the breath in a wave. Bringing your attention now to your heart, front and back, though you're only gazing at the front. Bringing your attention now to the throat center. Chakra. This chakra is served very well and very powerfully by mirror meditation. But I'll have to talk about that another day. And bringing your attention out to your third eye, so right between the eyes. Note your peripheral vision, even as you focus on that third eye point. You can see your whole body now. You can see your own eyes. But continue to focus your concentration on that third eye point, right on the forehead. You may see an aura around the body that happens quite frequently in mirror meditation, even if you can't ordinarily see such phenomena in your day-to-day life. The mirror tends to make these things more accessible. Bring your attention now to the crown of your head. Note that as you focus on the crown of your head, you're still aware and can see in your vision your whole body, but keep your focus on the crown of your head. Good. Notice any lights that you may see. And don't worry if you don't see anything. It's not important right now. We're going to work our way back down Bringing your attention to your third eye again. To your throat. Now, mirror meditation can be incredibly powerful, and very unusual things can start to happen. So it's important that you know not to be afraid of anything that you may see, of anything that may shift, but also physical sensations. I just want to point out, I'm getting a huge buzzing right above my upper lip. So focusing on the throat and the heart now. Breathing fully, softly. Solar plexus. Notice that you can see your whole body even as you focus on your solar plexus. Sacral chakra, womb. My lip is still going. And finally, the root. And once again, just take in the space around the body. So not looking directly at yourself, but looking in the mirror, in the space that you're inhabiting. And just be aware of your presence there. And close your eyes. Taking the hands into Anjali Mudra, opening your eyes and bowing to yourself. So that was a short introduction to mirror meditation and something that will be part of this class, Yoga from the Inside Out, on a regular basis. So, I'd like to invite us now to do some voice work together. So again, you can be seated in whatever position is comfortable for you. And I'm going to give us just a moment. I don't know what that mirror meditation was like for you. I would love to hear back. It's always fascinating to hear. Really, I think that people who have experience working with energy, Reiki Tumo, healing touch, I don't know, any of those, Tai Chi, Qigong, if you're used to working with those energies, you might have more powerful experiences with mirror meditation than someone, for example, who's not aware of those subtle things yet. Okay. And if those subtle things feel really inaccessible to you, imagine them. Imagine that you're capable. Imagination is the doorway into actually experiencing these things, because our minds are so closed to what we can't see and touch and sense. regularly and on a day-to-day basis, and what we don't have confirmation so much from the outside world for, has to start with your imagination. And it grows from there. And then you discover, wow, it's not my imagination. It's your experience. So, voice work. I think I'd like to do something that I've done before. It's fairly easy to instruct, and I don't want things to be too complicated today. So we're going to do a series of sounds: ah, om, and shh. We're going to place our hands on our body as we make those sounds. And we're going to just circle through ah, om, shh several times for several minutes. And this is a meditation. But what you're looking for as we do this is feeling the vibration under the hand, wherever you happen to be touching yourself. It's going to be forehead, heart, and belly. So as we're making the sounds, notice what you feel under your hands. Notice what you feel in your body and where the sound is hitting you in your body. And notice what's happening to your mental body as you focus in on and concentrate on the sounds. Okay. So, important to be comfortable. Grab a chair if you need to. I'm actually going to sit with a block under my hips again, on my knees. So we want to be, have good posture, natural posture, and we want to feel supported in that posture so that we're not efforting. Okay, so let's start with the hands at the chest. You can put hand over hand or just one hand, whatever's comfortable. We're going to breathe in. We're going to make the sound ah. Your ah may be longer or shorter depending on your exhalation. Hands to the belly. Sound is breathing in. Hands to the forehead or hand to the forehead. Breathing in, sound is shh. Cycling through ah, shh. Feel free to go at your own pace or to stay with me. It's up to you. Rest your hands. Meditate. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. And for the remainder of class now, we'll be entering into a restorative. So you will need a bolster, a blanket, and a block. Now this can be a cushion or pillow or multiple pillows. Everybody's got a blanket somewhere. If you don't have a block, you might find you don't need one. Or you can use a stack of books. So what I'm going to do is place the block under the top of the bolster or cushions so that there's an incline. And the blanket, I'm not sure how I'm going to use it yet. I might just cover myself, but I won't yet because you need to see my body. So what we're going to do is I would like you to sit right at the edge of the bolster with the hip at the edge. And you're going to lay yourself, your trunk, down over the bolster. So your knees will be pointing ahead of you, and then just rest. Now here is where you might want the blanket. A folded blanket can elevate the bolster a little higher if that's comfortable. Or if it's chilly, or you just want that sensation of being cozy and cuddly, then you can cover yourself with the blanket. Now the arms can be resting at the side or loop under. If you can grab under your cushions or bolster, obviously that's not going to work if you have something really wide. And then just rest. Let the body soften into your supports. To come up, just rest your hands against the ground and push the trunk upright. Let's switch the direction of the legs. So of course you can just turn over. I had to switch so that I could still be facing the camera. So laying the trunk over the bolster. Unhooking your arms if they were under your bolster or pillows, pushing up with the hands back to a seated position. Now I'm going to invite you to lie on your back in Shavasana. And I am going to offer you some healing energy. Now I've had attunements to different kinds of energies. Reiki, levels of Reiki Tumo, and the Akadawa, and another special energy that I don't know what to call. So, we all have these energies in us, whether we have been initiated into it or not. They're just frequencies, and we can access them. If you practice a healing modality, such as Reiki, and would like to place your own hands on your body right now, feel free. We're just going to close class with a little energy work. And I'm happy to offer to stream energy towards you if you feel like you don't have access to that, or you just want to receive it and not have to give to yourself. The other thing is that, this energy comes freely, it's universal, and I'm just a channel for it. So you can direct this energy, or you can have your angels direct this energy on your behalf to places in your life, or in your physical body, or mental body, any of your bodies, emotional, that need support. So just ask for the help of your angels, or you can send it where you know it needs to go. So gently bring some movement back into your body if you are laying in Shavasana. And of course, if you want to stay where you are, stay. Ignore my voice. Otherwise, just gently roll onto one side. Take your time to come back to a seated position. So let's bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath as long as you can. If you know the root locks, pull up on the root locks. exhale when you need to. Let's breathe in and close with Om Shanti. Okay, thank you for joining me. Now the announcement is that this class, Yoga from the Inside Out, is going to run through November on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. And it's going to be taking place on Zoom. And so anyone who would like to sign up for it anywhere is welcome to join me. You know, I've kind of designed it to be something for people who are feeling fatigue and tired and exhaustion and burnout and all of that kind of thing. And that's why it's late at night here. Of course, it'll be in the middle of the day or in the middle of the very early morning on the West Coast. So please join me. This was a sample class to share freely on YouTube, and I invite you to check out my other offerings on my webpage, which is dlcsgo.com. And of course, I'm on Facebook, but I'm kind of teetering off of that gradually. I am on Instagram, don't do a whole lot there either. And then there's this YouTube channel. So thank you again for joining me. I would love to have your comments about this class. I know it's a very unusual and different type of yoga class, so I'd like to know what you thought of it.